Hey there. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great day so far. Or happy day whenever this message comes across your feed. So, my intention with this reading is to give another sort of quick update and demo on some of the spreads that I have available on my website. Okay, so I'll start with the Crystal Energy Support prescription or, recommendation to get you some recommendations on crystals if you want to sort of tap into their energies and help them or ask them to help you rebalance and restore some of your energy centers and sort of seal up and bring peace to your aura. Okay? So, let's start with the Daily Crystal Inspirations deck. We'll go ahead and see what the most needed crystal energy is. Okay? So this will be the most important message, advice, concern that your guides want to bring forth, and most needed crystal energy, please. Okay, that one sort of came out. Lighten up with Angel Aura Quartz. So there's a sort of funness to this, a sort of whimsy to this. Okay, and as usual, I'm set up in such a way that I can't see the screen. So hopefully this is in focus, and if you join and come into the live in the middle, hi. Sorry I can't say hi to you individually. I'm going to try and figure out a setup where I can actually see people and see their comments and stuff, because I would like to make this a little bit more interactive. But for this particular spread, starting off with the most needed crystal energy, it's to lighten up. See the joy in everything. See the brightness in everything. See the magic in everything. And what I'm getting from this is a certain energy of wonder. Okay, so if you're somebody who believes in angels or who has had an experience with angels personally, that's sort of the energy that I'm getting from this. Is like, if you were to have contact with an angel, or you were to see an angel, or see a miracle happen in which, an angelic presence intervened, what that would do to your perspective, how that would sort of change things for you. And I just want like this. It would expand and broaden and lighten how you perceive things. And with quartz being a clear crystal, right? Angel Aura Quartz, what that is basically modern day alchemy. They take a powdered mix of different metals, from titanium to silver to copper, and they fuse it at a chemical level. The chemical structure of the quartz actually changes because they bond this metal with the silica in the quartz. And while it does obscure to a certain degree the way that you can see through the quartz, it creates all kinds of beautiful colors and reflections and new perspectives. So what really fascinated me about crystals when I started this whole crystal journey, in terms of the spiritual or energetic aspects of it, was, I don't remember where it was from, but I remember reading about how, because of the crystalline structure of the quartz that gives it, its triangles, or gives it its rhombohedrons, I just made that up, gives it its geometric shape, right? Because of the way that forms, when you look through it, it allows you to see different perspectives. And that's quite a literal thing. So I wish I had a piece of quartz with me so I could actually demonstrate. But looking through it to whatever's on the other side, there is a different perspective in that. Okay, but what this aura coding brings is another layer of perspective that, when it's named Angel Aura Quartz, sort of signifies its higher vibration and its connection to the divine. We often, in the metaphysical world, talk about how metals, silver and gold, precious metals, are divine metals, right? They are direct connections to some of those higher realms, those higher vibrations, those higher aspects. So to fuse those with something like quartz, which is already a other-realmly, I don't know what I'm at a loss for words, but is already a sentient sort of being, if you believe that. It holds an energy of the planet. To connect it and bond it directly with a divine energy brings this lightness, but also brings this new awareness and this new perspective. So what I'm getting from this is a spiritual lightness. Okay, it could be an emotional lightness too, like just being gay, like being joyful and seeing the brighter things in everything. But what I'm getting from this is a spiritual lightness, and what I'm really understanding, speak your truth at the bottom of the deck. What I'm really understanding from this is you're choosing to shed the pieces of your spiritual story, what you believe in, how you choose to resonate with certain topics. You're choosing to shed anything that holds you down. You're choosing to shed the darker aspects of it. Or at least this is what this energy is encouraging you to do. Okay? I don't want to go religious. I don't want to go into specific details. But when we talk about, and there's a reason for that, because there's polarizing aspects. There's the lightness, there's the beauty, there's the community of all of those things, but then there are also the more shadowy aspects. And what I believe is happening here is an awareness to a broader sense of spirituality is uplifting you, or will be able to uplift you and enlighten you in such a way that you can release the darker components that don't resonate with you. Okay? And that can surface in a lot of different ways. I'm keeping this purposefully vague because I don't want to go down or project any of my, personal experiences on this or my energy on this. Okay, but what I really understand is there's the lightning is. This came across your feed for a reason, because you're already sort of on that side of the seesaw. You're already teetering toward being uplifted rather than believing the doom and gloom. Okay, and so this might actually tie into just the overall societal energies too, right? You're choosing to have hope, and you're choosing to pray for beautiful things and happy endings and happy resolutions to problems, instead of feeding into the news cycle, feeding into the negative narrative. Okay, so that's a beautiful energy, and maybe if you're not there, this is what this message is coming to encourage you to do, or this is what your guides are advising you to do, is aim for the lighter side of things. Okay, and I'm just going to throw a guess out. So the next sort of section that we would go through is, what's your weakest energy center at this time? And with speak your truth being the underlying subconscious energy, I would say it's your throat chakra needs some activation or some support so that you can stand in that truth and defend it if you choose to no longer resonate with certain things, certain belief systems, certain ways of thinking. Okay, so we're just going to grab some chakra crystals to see your weakest energy center here. Okay, we'll grab 2, please. So we have the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. Okay, and those actually go like this, like right above each other. And so both of those have to do with creativity, with abundance, or knowing that you are abundant, knowing that you are creative, knowing that you have the power to do what you want to do, to create what you want to do, and then to actually manifest and bring those dreams or whatever you, at your root, care to create, to bring that into fruition, to bring that into existence. So this is a very fiery and passionate energy center, and when this is coming out in your weakest energy, that That's not to say that you're weak there. It just means that you might need some healing, or there might be an imbalance, or there just might be attention needed here. Yeah, and so I don't want to. This message isn't to preach or call anybody out or anything like that. What I feel these two coming out together in this way is saying is that there's actually an imbalance in the fire. There might be too much fire. So I'm seeing the Temperance card, like from the tarot deck, which is a tempering of energies, right? A balancing of energies. So perhaps in your sacral, in your solar plexus chakras, the imbalance was towards not feeling safe, not feeling secure, not feeling like you could express or create what you wanted to create and bring into existence. And so you put up boundaries, or you did something with a passionate energy to protect yourself, and in doing so it caused an imbalance in these two chakra centers. Okay, so perhaps you, with the throat chakra coming out at the bottom of the deck earlier, perhaps you used your voice too much, or you haven't used your voice enough, and so that's creating an imbalance in these lower chakras. And so the ways, or these two stones that can sort of help with this, are carnelian for the sacral and citrine for the solar plexus. Okay, but let's just grab one or two actual crystals with maybe some more color here for the energy center that could use the most healing or attention for whoever's watching. Soothe your soul with Celeste. Yeah, so there's still that blue energy here, but with soothe being in the title, or being in the caption here, that tells me that yes, you might have been using your throat chakra a little bit too much. You might have been expressing yourself to put up those boundaries a little bit too strongly, and maybe in those darker elements, right? Those denser emotions. And celestite, that watery energy, but also air and spiritual energy, is coming to say, calm down, take a deep breath, like pour a little water on the situation. And I don't mean like douse it. I actually am seeing like spritzing of a mist, and I can actually do that. Let's just give a little, cool it down a little bit, to cool these chakras down. Okay, and when your sacral is out of balance, or your solar plexus is out of balance, you might be having fits of rage, you might be lashing out against people, you might be very defensive or angry. And so yeah, with the blue stone coming in to cool down those energies, that rebalances upwards, but you can still absolutely rely on citrine to keep you joyful and happy and abundant in these energies, and carnelian to reground and cool the embers even of the fires that were burning too hot. Okay? And at the bottom of the deck, I just looked real quick, I saw loosen your grip. So I don't want to call that out as being the third card because I want it to come out. But I can absolutely see how Amazonite, still with these blues and greens and purples, cooling and soothing, a very watery, yeah, and again, it had sodalite at the bottom again, a very watery, blue, cooling type of energy. And actually, so speaking of speaking too much, I meant to set a timer to make sure that this live didn't go on too long, but let's just speed this up a little bit. So how can we restore balance? Obviously, all of these crystals answer that question, right? The most needed thing that in terms of your energy right now is to uplift and enlighten yourself, okay? Maybe get out of some of these darker, harsher, angrier energies, and be kind to yourself with pink opal. Yeah. So what I'm really getting here is if you had a fight with somebody, or you overreacted, or you're just holding on to anger or rage, or disappointment or sadness, there's a need to uplift this and be kind to yourself through this whole process. And we can actually see a beautiful blend of like these RNGs and yellows from the citrine and the carnelian in pink opal. And what's interesting is I was talking about how all of these were very watery, and opal is to me one of the stones that must, I don't even know if this is true chemically, but I just, the birds flying above, there's my confirmation. Chemically, energetically, spiritually, opal is water. Opal is water frozen in time. So there's a certain washing away with sweetness and comfort that comes from pink opal. A forgiveness. It's a sweetness. It's like rose water. Pink opal is rose water to me. And so, again, that rose water coming in to cool the fiery sacral and fiery solar plexus, that's overdoing it, right? To bring things back into balance, to remind you to be kind to yourself during this rebalancing, and to forgive yourself for whatever might have happened in the past that got you into these energies. Okay? So to bring, this message back again more tangibly, angel aura quartz, celestite, pink opal, citrine, and carnelian are crystals that you can reach out to help rebalance rage, anger, darker emotions, sadness, and uplift and soothe your soul so that you can find kindness within yourself and kindness towards yourself. Because what you feel within you will ultimately be reflected outside of you. And so the more kindness, the more soothing energy, the more lightness that you have within you and for you, the more you'll be able to hold, right? The greater your capacity to hold those energies will be for other people, right? Or towards other people. Okay, so I'm feeling called to end your message there. I hope you found it helpful. Because this is a general crystal support prescription, this is, timeless whenever it comes across your feed. But I do want to just give one or two little, what do you call it, confirmation cards, confirmation signs, a water sign. Yeah, so water, the water is needed. So definitely, wow, I'm like tripping over my words. Definitely, if you're a water sign here, you might be parched. You might need to do some spiritual cleansing with water, or near the water, near the ocean, near running streams, near a river. And specifically if you're a water sign and you find yourself in this situation, it's because your internal fires are burning too strongly, and you sort of need to get back to being able to flow and take the shape of the container that you're put in, and allow emotions to be a wave, is what I'm really just getting. Like, be that little buoy on the wave that doesn't get sucked down into the trough and isn't always sitting at the crest, but is just on top, and allowing emotions to flow through them, right? So, wow, water sign. Anyone else? Anyone else? Whoop. Capricorn? And Leo. Yeah, so fire as well. If you're burning a little too bright, then maybe get in touch with the more watery elements. Okay. I hope you found this message useful, helpful. If you did, please give it a like or comment below. And have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.